So they say information is power. So whenever you have the right knowledge, it saves you a whole lot of stress. As an investor, before you pay for that land, ensure you ask the right questions so you won't just buy trouble with receipts. Buying land is very good, but without proper documentation, that's not investment. You're just buying payday waiting to happen. Welcome to TPL series. This is an amazing platform where we talk about everything real estate. Yes, real estate teams, G's, everything you need to know as a smart investor so that you up your game in real estate. That's what happens here. And today, we're going to be talking about the legal basics every investor should know. So if you're thinking about what documents should I get in real estate? Why do I need the services of a lawyer? If you're asking all those questions, this episode is for you. So go nowhere because I have an amazing guest today. We're talking about everything legal as a smart investor. So with me in the studio today, I have someone, a legal practitioner, someone who understands the Nigerian law, especially when it concerns real estate. So today we'll be dissecting everything you need to know about property and law. So in the studio with me this morning, I have an amazing guest, and her name is Pearl. She's a legal practitioner, so you're welcome, Pearl.
Thank you so much.
So, are you even excited to be? Have you watched the TPL series? So, how excited are you to? I think you'll be so excited being on this platform this morning. So, what do you know? How do you feel being here this morning?
I feel good. I feel good.
Hmm. So, you are a legal practitioner. That means you understand law.
Yeah.
That's what we know. That's what we believe. So the people want to invest. So the people that are smart investors, you have this is Dango Properties Limited. We have people who have invested and who are willing to invest, but we won't still negate the fact that there's been issues over time in real estate, especially when it comes to documentation, due diligence, and all of that. These are jargons when it comes to law. People, a layman might not really understand these things. So let's just start with this question. So as a legal practitioner, do you think it's compulsory for a smart investor to involve the services of a lawyer? So, is it really important when it comes to real estate? And if it is very important, why is it?
So real estate investment is a very good investment to start with.
Yeah.
For most people see real estate investment as a quick investment to gain
Yes.
money and all.
Yeah.
But once they hear of the property, the location, the price, they are quick,
Mm-hmm.
and they seem to skip the basics of the legal foundation of the
Mm.
whole real estate investment because the legal foundation of a good real estate deal saves you from making an expensive mistake.
Oh,
You
that's
understand? Because, for example, if you do purchase a land that has a defective title, you've made a costly mistake. And so it's the having a good knowledge of legal basics differentiates it from a great investment and an expensive mistake.
that's fine. You're still talking. You're still using all these your professional jargons. You said defective title. I don't even understand what that means. Like, not like I don't understand. The
Mm,
layman, people watching, they're like, what's defective title? How do I know that this property has a defective title input? So
okay.
I wanted to break it down to them, just break it down for them so that everybody, every smart investor, the existing ones and the prospective ones, they can understand that, oh, this is what I need to look out for. This is why it is very, very important to know the legal basis of the foundation. So please explain that to
A
them.
defective
Yes,
title.
defective title.
So when you say a title is defective, is when basically title to land is your right to that property. So when it's defective, there are different situations that can make a title defective. It's not
Okay.
just a situation. Like for example, if the person that has sold that land to you doesn't have the proper right to sell it to you, meaning their ownership is not exactly valid, that is defective. If they sold the title to you based on forged documents, that has made your title to that land defective because it's not a proper title that was transferred to you.
Hmm.
If they transferred a land to you that is seen as a collateral, as a loan, which happens a lot,
Mm-hmm.
you understand, the title that is passed to you is defective. So if the title that has passed to you is defective based on the person that transferred that, it's just like say I have cough. Hmm? If I cough, you're bound to contaminate
Yes,
said
yes.
cough. Exactly. So if the title I have in that land is like a cough and I transfer it to you, you
The
already
same
have the cough.
problem.
You
Yes,
understand? So
yes.
that title is invalid.
So
So yes.
yeah, so you're not telling us why it's very important to
Yes.
employ the services of a lawyer, because I might not really know if it's a defective title. How do I ascertain that is defective? So that's when a lawyer, a legal practitioner comes in. So
Yes.
how do you do that? How do you verify that?
By running due diligence. So before you pay for a property, you should be able to know the property at first. So when you know the property, you then go to the land registry. Then the importance of going to the land registry is for title verification,
Okay.
to verify the title
Oh,
of the
that's
property you
fine.
want to buy.
Yes, yes.
So when you go to the land registry, you then find out if that property has been acquired by the government.
Hmm.
You understand? If there is any legal dispute on that property, for example, maybe it's a family land, and maybe one person wants to sell it without the consent of the other family. So the matter is in court and you are not aware. So if you go to the land judge, they tell you, oh, this property is in court right now. It's in dispute. You understand? And also if said land has been used as a collateral
Collateral.
for loan,
Yes.
you
So,
understand? So that's how you run those due diligence, by going to
hmm.
the land registry to find out those titles of.
So you're saying all those details are captured in the land registry.
Yes, it
So
is.
you must capture this
Yes,
information. It's not
because
something that is
because
hidden.
every land is registered.
Oh, that's true.
So they have each document. Because if you look at a deed, there's a recital first where you see the first person that has owned the land
Mm-hmm.
down to who you're buying that land from. So if you buy a land, it's registered in the land registry.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's why they
Oh,
have those
that's
details.
fine. That brings me to my second question. You mentioned deed. That's
Yes.
deed of conveyance. So when we sometimes when we talk about, oh, this the title of this property, most people don't understand we're talking about the document. Now here at Tango Properties Limited, over time we've given we always give the deed of conveyance. We tell you, oh, this property comes with a complimentary deed of conveyance and a survey plan. And I know the survey plan is just something that is attached to the
Okay.
deed. So I want to explain that deed of conveyance to us. How why is it very, very important
Okay.
in purchasing the land? Why is it the deed of conveyance very, very
Okay. So specifically, this is laws that are specific to River State
okay?
law. So to have a valid title to land, you have to have a deed of conveyance, because it's a document that proves that the rights and the ownership and the rights of occupancy of that person has been transferred to you.
Okay.
So in for it to be legally binding, for any transaction to have a legal effect, it has to be documented. You understand? So that is the name of now the document that proves that. But then we have deed of conveyance and we have deed of assignment. So it's different. People like to mix that up. But deed of assignment is when maybe the land has a C of O.
Mm-hmm.
If the land has a C of O, that's when you have a deed of assignment. But deed of conveyance is when the land doesn't have a
I
C of
see a
O,
goal. Okay.
then you use it. So if you don't have a deed, you don't have the land, basically.
So there's no transaction, there's nothing.
There is no
So what if you have a
transaction.
receipt of payments and you don't have a deed of conveyance? Does that
You
property belong
This
to you?
brings you back to your first question when you
Mm-hmm.
say you the importance of legal advice when
Mm-hmm.
you want to buy a property. Just because you have the receipt of payment
Mm-hmm.
does not mean you have the legal rights.
Yeah, because tell me, if I walk into a phone shop and I get a gadget, I'm being issued a receipt of payment, that phone, that gadget automatically belongs to
Yes,
me.
it's automatic, but the rights and your interest in that land has not been transferred to you yet.
Hmm.
You say, oh, I've paid for the land. So basically you have, like, let's say you're trying to look for the non-legal term for it, but you have a certain amount of, it's just like saying, okay, I paid for food. Hmm? If you pay for food
Yeah.
now and she has given you the food, it's different from when you've paid and you've not received the food.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so in essence, you are saying that deed
It's
of conveyance
yes,
is
it's
very is a
yes,
must
it's
have.
like its own receipt.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like
its
its own
own
receipt.
receipt. Yes,
Because when you pay for the land, they're saying, okay, you've paid for it, so it's its own receipt.
and it supersedes the receipts
It
of
supersedes it because that one is just evidence that you paid the money.
yeah
Yes, it's evidence of payment, but it's not evidence of rights
ownership.
being
Okay.
transferred to you. It's
Oh,
not evidence of ownership or
oh,
possession.
that's fine. Still talking about the deed of conveyance and the certificate of occupancy, the deed of assignment. You know, why is it that, especially, I don't know, let's just say in River State or any other place, why is it that people are always eager to have or probably they're more excited when they hear that, oh, this property comes with a certificate of occupancy?
But
So why is it? Is it like, is it higher than the deed of conveyance, and why is that?
so basically, what is a certificate of occupancy?
Mm-hmm.
Under our Land Use Act, every land belongs to the government.
Mm-hmm.
So if it just like so basically the governor is the landlord and you're the tenant.
Oh,
So when you buy a land and you want to register that land, you're registering it as okay, oh, I want to rent your land. You understand? So that first registration gives you 99 years
mm-hmm.
of right of occupancy over that land because again the land belongs to
The
the government.
government.
So what they give you is a certificate of occupancy when you've paid the due fees to the government, stamp duties and the rest. So the governor issues a certificate of occupancy to you. You understand? So it basically just shows that the land I have is registered with the government.
Okay. So are you saying the ones with just the deed of conveyance are not registered with the government?
They are not registered.
Oh,
They are not
okay.
registered.
Okay.
But once they are registered, the government acknowledges that this land is my own. I'm only giving it to you for a period of 99
99 years.
years.
Okay. Okay. Now I understand. So you register with the government, so
Yes,
you're a legal
you're like
tenant
a legal tenant.
for
So for
99
99
years.
years, so you
Or is it
can give.
renewable after 99 years?
Yes, it's renewable. So like that's how you pay tenement rates on
Okay.
the land.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. So now that is why you now draft a deed of assignment. That's why you're giving a deed of assignment, not a deed of conveyance. In a deed of conveyance, you're the purchaser and the vendor. You
Yes.
understand? Let's say
Yes.
Tenko Properties is the vendor
Vendor.
and
Yes.
Pearl
The
is the vend
purchaser.
is the vend is the sorry is the
Purchaser.
purchaser.
Yes.
So if it's a deed of assignment, that means the property has a C of O.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You understand? You can't be the vendor. The as Tengo Properties, you now become the assigner.
The
You're
assignee.
assigning that
The
thing to me.
assigner assignee.
Yes, you're assigning that particular right of occupancy to
Oh,
me
okay. That's
because you're not the owner, it belongs to
to the
the
government.
government. So ideally, every property should have a C of O. But then we need to take into factor that before this Land Use Act came, people were already selling land.
That's true.
You understand? So
Mm.
most properties were already being sold before
Before the act
the
came.
act came in. So
Okay,
yes,
that means whenever you hear a deed of assignment, know that that property has a C
C of
of O.
O.
Just so you know, so that you don't mix things up. It's getting juicer. It's getting juicer, and I love the fact that we are being clear on some certain things. And when people hear due diligence, now when it comes to Tango Properties Limited, we tell you that, oh, you don't need to pay matching ground, you don't need to pay agency fee. That means you've done the due diligence. So is it really important, still important for an investor to go and make his or her own personal findings, regardless of the fact that, oh, as a company, we've already done that? Is it really advisable for investors to still go ahead and make their own findings and their due diligence when it comes to investing in real estate?
Yeah. So as an investor, you have to do your due diligence. You don't just you don't do your due diligence based on trust.
Yeah.
Because I used to say this that you can't trust everybody. In
Hmm.
as much as a brand, yes, they are trustworthy, but that doesn't remove the responsibility of doing your due
So are you
diligence.
talking out of experience? Have you seen someone else? Are you talking based on experience? Have you seen where,
Well,
even if it didn't happen to you exactly, but have you ever heard of it? I mean, why is it very,
well,
very
I
important?
have heard when I think I've heard of someone when I think she was ranting that oh she got a land, she got a property, but she didn't get it from a real estate company. But there have been situations where people patronize certain buy properties from real estate companies, and then you hear, oh, they just collected the money and you didn't get the
Yeah,
land.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
understand? They told you they've done all of those things. You understand? So this protects you as an investor from those issues.
That's true.
You
That's true.
understand my point? But then if the real estate company has a lawyer, you ask for those things, because you can't just go to the land registry and say, oh, I want the
Okay.
details of this thing, especially if you're not a lawyer. You
Yes.
can't just do it. So if you go as an investor, you want to get, so you have the right to demand for those documents.
Okay.
Oh, can I see the survey plan of this property? Can I see your title to this property? Can I see your what gives you the right to sell the property to me? You verify it
Mm-hmm.
by your own self. You check the expanse by your own self.
Yeah.
You understand? So once you see those details, that's how you run your due diligence
Okay.
on said property. Again, you can still go forward to act if you have a lawyer. If you
Yes.
have a lawyer, your lawyer can still go forward to do further
To
search on the
search.
land
Oh,
registry, because
yeah.
you have to be sure that this land, because most times people buy lands that have encumbrances attached to it.
Exactly.
You buy
Yeah.
land, so on your deed, the vendor is assuring you that this land is not is free of any
Birds.
encumbrances.
Yeah.
So you have to ascertain that, oh
It's
yes, so
actually
this land is free. So
that's true.
most times when you trust them, it's like, okay, they do have a lawyer that is telling you, oh, I have done my due diligence for this company, and I have seen that this land indeed is free of encumbrances. And then you're like, okay, so you have to run
Your
that
own
due diligence. You don't just take anybody's word for it.
for it.
You can take a professional's word for it, because they are the ones that would have run it. You understand?
Yeah.
Right? So yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. I and you've heard it that before you invest in real estate as a smart investor, if you have, let's assume you walk into this place and I tell you this is my legal practitioner. Anyone can just stand in as a legal practitioner.
Yes.
So it's always advisable that you employ the services of your legal practitioner. Ensure that whatever you're being told is true. That's what diligence is all about. So that you don't use your money and buy little wahala, court case today,
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow. So due diligence is very, very important. And I know you've been getting so much value in this episode. We're still talking about legal basics. Every investor should know. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back after this short break.
Everyone talks about getting a property, but not everyone talks about the importance of getting the right property.
At Elite Residence, we understand that true value goes beyond just owning land. It's about owning a future that's ready when you are. This buy and build property is designed for immediate development and comfortable living, with key amenities such as an access control main estate gatehouse currently under construction, government approved tarred roads currently under construction, street lights, perimeter fencing, band A power supply. Elite Residence offers both convenience and class.
Currently selling for 18 million naira pre-launch price.
Documents that accompany this property are the survey plan, deed of conveyance, and C of O in view. Strategically located at Umbodo Alo, with key landmarks such as the Greater Taft City, Obirikwere Flyover, and this property is directly behind the Peace Park Estate.
Don't just talk about owning a property, make it a reality with Ellis Residence. Send us a message now to book your free site inspection.
You're welcome back. And if you're just joining us, this is TPL series powered by Standard Properties Limited. And today we have an interesting topic. Talking about the legal basics every investor should know. Because I had a lot of issues, court cases here and there because you as a smart investor you didn't do your due diligence. And don't forget, in the studio with me today, I have a legal practitioner who will be discussing everything legal you need to know as a smart investor. So, Phil, as we're talking about before the break, Still talking about the title, the deed of conveyance, the contract of sale, and every other thing. So, what clause in the deed of conveyance actually protects the right of the investor? Because we've seen some cases where tomorrow issues will just come up, because a lot of people, especially when clients buy these properties and they issue deed of conveyance, most of them can't even interpret the clauses. They just read the deed like every other, but they don't know that there are clauses. They don't even understand anything when it comes to, they just feel, oh, I've gotten my documents, and they move with it. So what clauses in that do protect their rights so that tomorrow you don't have issues?
Okay. So first of all, I would like to say, as an investor, or rather, as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're an investor or not, you should always read every paperwork given to you. People see contracts or clauses as just paper,
Normal,
just to
yes,
I will just
yes.
sign and not send.
Yeah,
I've seen situation where somebody will come back and be like, okay, I want to enforce this right, and they're like, ah, I did not agree to it now. But you're like,
the
you
signature
see
is
the paper
there.
here now, so
Mm.
you now have to go to court for a very lengthy reason, for no reason at all, just because you did not read through the paper. So you should really read through whatever it is you are putting your signature on. Exactly. So secondly, there are certain costs, yes, that we employ to protect both the purchaser and the vendor. But let's say you're the purchaser as the investor. Clauses like the indemnity clause. The indemnity clause is basically to indemnify you if said property you're buying is defective in any form.
Yeah,
You're protecting yourself from that situation. So the responsibility or whatever is coming falls
on
on
the
the
vet.
person that is selling that land to
Okay,
you.
all right.
Then you have the termination clause. That's the right to terminate said contract or said sale if anything goes wrong, or if the person selling this property to you falls short of something.
Okay, okay,
Then you can protect yourself by saying, I don't want to do again, let me go.
okay.
But you are saying that because the other party hasn't done what they are supposed to
To
do, their
do, yes,
obligations, they have not
exactly.
fulfilled their obligation. That's their own side of the deal. So you can just say, I'm not doing any longer. You understand? And
But
then
there's a
the
breach of contract. That's what.
yes, basically breach of contract. And situations where there's also a clause where you're given, because you're being, let's say the rights clause, you're being transferred the rights, the
Okay.
equitable right interest is being transferred
Mm.
and conveyed to you. So they're assuring you that there's nobody will come any day to meet you and say, this land is my own, it's not your own. You understand? So that clause is there for you to know that every right obtainable on this property, every interest obtainable from this property is conveyed officially to
To
you.
you.
So we are assuring you that nobody will come any day to tell you, I'm suing you because this property is not your own, it's my own,
Mm.
basically. So
So
that
all these
clause is
clauses are captured in the deed.
yes.
So that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. Okay, no wonder it says it's a document that transfers ownership, like ownership
Yes.
from the seller to the buyer. That's fine. So, what would a client do in a situation where you've already gotten this property and over time you discover that there's an issue in the property? What legal steps can I take to reclaim my
Well,
property or my money?
first of all, the court could order for specific performance. Specific performance is when the court orders the defaulting party to do something.
Okay.
Maybe refund your money back. You understand? Termination of contract. That is when the contract will officially be terminated. And also you have specific damages. All damages, you can ask for damages because
Exactly.
I spent money on you. So you
Yes.
can't just only give me back. You can't just only give me back the money you owe
You pay
me.
for other
You pay
damages.
for other damages. You
That's a whole
understand? So
lot.
you have yes, you can enforce those rights of
Yeah.
damages. You can enforce specific performance. You can enforce termination of contracts.
Okay. Okay. When we started this conversation, you said something about all land. belonging to the government. Well, that's what we hear. Every
Mm.
land belongs to the government. So we had instances where, for instance, what if in a scenario where you went for verification in the land registry and it was ascertained that, oh, this property is not encumbered, this is not a government acquisition area, this is just, it's free, you can anybody can acquire it and probably register it and all of that. And over time, there's need for probably expansion of roads and everything, and government wants to use that particular area for a certain development. So what happens to the tenants there? Because these
Well,
things happen, we see all the time that, oh, government might decide to use a particular portion. Are they compensated, or is it just forcefully taken from them?
no,
I don't
it's not.
understand.
The government cannot forcefully take your
So why can't
property.
they do that? Because
They
at the
can
end of the
they
day, it's
come.
their
That's
property.
why we have laws put in place. So when certain development want to be done, they inform people on that land and then
Okay.
they give them compensation. But most people think when they hear compensation, ah,
One, it's a
government will
lot.
pay me 1 million.
One
They will pay me
billion.
1 billion. This is my 4 plots of land. What do
Yeah.
you mean? You just take it like that, just break my fence, they will not
Yeah.
give me. No, they are only compensating you based on the development on that land. So that is how they weigh the compensation. So if say in your whole 4 plot of land, the reason you built on that land is
Bacha.
just one bacha, you don't expect to receive
Are you
10 million.
serious?
Yes,
So they don't pay compensate you based on the value of
they
that
don't
property at that
compensate you
time.
based on the value.
That's wicked, man.
They compensate you based on the development on the land.
Why? Because they're demolishing it.
Yes,
Oh,
the land initially is their own
that's
and
true.
they rented it to you.
Ooh.
That is, they are the landlords. So
Yes.
they now say, I want to use my land now. I want to use it for this reason. And then you go, okay now, but this is my house. I've been living here for years. What do you mean you want to take it? You have to pay me. And the government say, yes, I will pay you because I know you don't have any house again. So based on this, your house now, take this money. But I'm not going to give you based on this land
Land.
because it's my own.
So it's just the structure, not the
It's
value of
just
the
the
land.
structure, the development, you have whatsoever you've developed on the land, maybe farm, whatsoever, they compensate you for those of development alone. There's a situation where people build properties on when they want to do road, so they
Yes,
have to break certain fences because you
exactly.
you built your fence on the road. They don't compensate you for that because you're encroached.
Encourage. Okay,
You
yes,
understand? And
yes.
every land has certain purposes. There are areas that are designated for residential purposes. There are
And
areas
commercial.
designated for commercial purposes. So
Exactly.
if you register a land and you say, okay, I'm using this for residential, I'm using this for residential, and maybe they find out later that that said land you said you used it for commercial
Commercial.
purposes, your title will be revoked
Oh,
without compensation. So that is how you bring the
okay. At that
compensation.
point, is the fault of the investor, not
Yes,
really.
it's the
Yes,
fault of the investor
yes,
because
yes.
you you said this property is for this purpose and government has designated this property for this purpose.
Because it's
So
already planned.
yes, so if they revoke your title because of that same said reason, you can't ask them for compensation
Because you
because
defaulted.
you defaulted. But
Mm.
now they are the ones, let me use default. They are not defaulting tech, but let's use defaulting. If the government
Mm.
are the ones saying, hey, I want to use this your land for
Mm.
something else, you understand? They are breaking it down. You're
Exactly.
due that compensation.
Mhm. So
You're
that's
due that compensation.
we are only it's not becoming clear, and I hope you as a smart investor you're getting value. So tomorrow you don't make mistakes. You don't assume what is not obtainable. So I hope you're
Mm,
getting it. And if you have questions, do also drop your questions in the comment section. We'll answer all of the questions, all of it.
I
And the
would
pair of
sorry for
okay,
I would like to add another thing.
okay, that's fine.
When you're doing your due diligence as an investor, you have to confirm that that land has not been acquired
Oh.
by the government.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Because there are
mm-hmm.
some lands that have been acquired by the government, but they would still sell. Maybe the government has acquired the land, and maybe they've not given the contract to
To-
develop that land to somebody.
exactly.
Or if they have and the person has not retired, so the person would still say, I want to
It's
sell
mine.
this land to somebody, and you go and buy the land. And then when you want to start, government will now come and tell you, what are you
What are you
doing?
doing?
You understand? So you lose your money, but they won't compensate you for that.
Exactly.
So yes, real estate is a very great investment. Yes, real estate will gain, it's a very good investment. But like I said at the beginning, it could be a good investment, a very good profitable investment, and also be a very, very expensive mistake.
Heartbreaking. So due
Very
diligence is
expensive
very, very
mistake.
important. And
Yes.
that would
Sorry.
always be done at the land registry.
Yes.
Go and please involve a lawyer. If you don't have one, please. You
Please
can
do.
come to Dana
Please
Brothers
involve a
Limited.
lawyer.
Come and hire one. And to wrap it up, let's just talk about there's a trend in Nigeria because there's an episode we talked about real estate scam and all of that, but this is not scam now. Because we've seen situations where an investor wants to get a property, everything is okay, checks for everything, did the due diligence, and the property was actually sold to this person. Deed of conveyance handed over to this person, and just out of the blue, some set of persons just come to, you know, collect that land from them, like claiming it's their own, and there's nothing you can do about it. They will tell you there's nothing you can do about it. Go to court, and it's as if the court is not doing anything about the whole thing. They call themselves here we call them land grabbers. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just wondering why is it like why is it that the law doesn't protect? Because I think some investors are very scared of investing. At the end of the day, I don't want these people to grab my land. I don't have to spend for court to halal. So is this something that it's that the law, the law in Nigeria is handling, or why is it still on the increase? It's something that keeps happening. So how do we tackle that problem?
So land grabbing is very common, like you said, but then it still boils down to documentation.
Yeah,
It still boils down to documentation. If you have your proper, you've done your proper due diligence, you have every document, you have your purchase receipt, you have your deed, you have your land survey, you have government acquisition, government any government acquisition. If
yeah,
the concept of governor's consent,
cognizant
if
sense, yes.
necessary, you understand. You have the history of said property. That is why most lawyers go as far as getting the roots of the
Of that
title.
particular,
You
okay.
understand? You have all of those things put in place. You bring it, and they have to bring their own. You understand? If yours checks out and they have to bring their own too, okay. You can't just say, I'm gonna have this land. I've seen situations like that actually. I can't share so much about the details, but this man came up and said he's the owner of the land. His grandfather, his uncle, is this person.
Exactly.
They gave them the land on gifts. The whole plot is their own. You understand? But this one already built on the land and it was like it's their property. He was adamant on the whole thing. You understand? So you can't just sit down and say it's your land.
You have
You
to prove it.
understand? You have to prove it's your own.
Hmm.
So if I've done my due diligence properly done, this is the document I have for what's your own document, and you go to court. So most times than oftentimes than not, the matter goes to
Go
court.
to court.
You understand? But then you can't lose in that situation if, like I said, you have all your documents in check. You have the root of title. The person, most times it's linked to the person that sold that land to you.
That's true.
You understand? Because the person that sold that land to you did not tell you that there could be something going on.
Hmm.
If you had checked that something was going on, you would have suspected. So most times, if at all there is an issue, it's linked to the person you're buying,
Buying
the
from,
vendor.
like,
It's linked to the
yes,
vendor. You understand?
yes.
So if you go to court, they can't just say it's their own just
Mhm.
with mouth.
Just like
They
that.
will bring this thing, and most times
Hmm.
they are forged documents flying around. People forge
Why?
deeds. People
That's
forge
because I've seen
people.
this. I've seen it.
Yes,
People forge a lot,
people
and
forge.
that's something we need to talk
So
about.
yes, those things
Forgery
happen.
when
Those
it
things
comes.
happen.
Yes,
So definitely they are land grabbers.
yes,
They
yeah,
are always in a good place. They are always bad. So
good,
there are definitely land grabbers.
yeah.
But you as an investor, what you should do is do your due
Due
diligence,
diligence.
because those documentations protect your money. You
That's
see
it.
those documents, they are the ones that your it's not. I have
Ex-
the land. It's not. It's
exactly.
the documents that. It's not by saying it's my own. Those documents done.
Yes,
When matters like this happen, you say, okay, let's go to court.
that's true.
So if you go to court, you have I have evidence of purchase.
Yes,
I have my root of title.
everything is
I have my
there.
survey plan. I have my deed of
Exactly.
conveyance. I have my governor's consent. I
Yes,
have my stamp duties. I have everything paid. So they have to bring their own.
they're on that
Because if they
true.
have the land, they have, so if they've brought those things and the court can determine, okay, this is the real owner of property. And I promise you, you as investor probably won't lose in that matter because you have
You've provided
done
everything.
everything done.
So that means the law still works for the
Yes, and there's
investor.
no comma. And it's not just by your documents are there. The person you're buying from, have you done your due diligence on them? Have you checked that that property too is their own? Because there are a
Um,
lot of real estate companies everywhere. There are a lot. There are people that will tell you, trust us, don't worry, this land, they cannot, who is the
I'm telling you, at the end of the
take
day,
your
they are
land, you
just
understand?
scamming you.
At the end of the day, they are scamming you. And
That's
once
true.
you buy that land, you find out it's not loan people come and tell you they want to
Hmm,
take the land. People will say it's their own, this is their family land. Most people sell family land without consent. It's more common than you think.
that's true.
Most people will sell a family land and the other members of the family are not aware.
They're not
And
aware.
then they wake up one morning and they sold the land. And those ones come and meet you and say, no, it's our property. Oh. What do you mean? You don't say, ah, I bought it from so and so.
I
And he
don't
did
do
not
that.
tell us.
Mm-hmm.
And then the court now has to order, you have to, if the matter is going to taken to court, the court puts an injunction. You can't do anything on your
Anything on
property.
the land
If you're living there, you everything is on
on
standstill.
hold and your investment is just
And
stuck.
all of this rooted from where? Lack of proper
Due
due
diligence.
diligence.
That's a whole lot. And I hope you enjoyed this episode because if there's anything you're taking out from this episode is that you must do your due diligence when it comes to real estate. And another thing, you must also ensure you have a proper documentation for your property so you don't start crying tomorrow. Like I said, just taking out time to do the right thing will save you a lot of stress. Don't use your money and buy little headache. Cut today, cut tomorrow, avoid it. He said something about forgery. That will be in the next time. We'll still discuss. Don't worry, you'll be seeing her regularly. There's a
Mhm.
whole lot to discuss because real estate will not work without the legal arm. They are just like Siamese twins, they will go together. So you'll be I think we will have to talk about forgery because it's something that is really trending. Scammers are everywhere, they forge all these things. So we'll talk about that. So thank you so much, Pearl, for coming on
You're
this episode. Thank
welcome.
you for sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you for opening our eyes and the eyes of other investors, the more to know what to do as a real estate consultant. Thank you so much for being part of this amazing episode of our TPL series today. Don't forget, we talk everything about real estate, the gist, the juices, everything you need to know about real estate, and everything you need to know so that you make the best real estate smart decisions. We discuss them here. And if you've not followed us up until now, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, subscribe, share this video, and if you have questions, like I said, drop it already. We'll answer all of the questions. So we'll see you again. Thank you for being a part of this episode. Have an amazing week. Thank you and bye.